I'm Jam. Welcome to Jam's Adventures. So today I was just out cruising, walking around, buying some stuff in Pocatello, Idaho, and I came across one of my favorite stores from the 80s they're hard to find anymore. Matter of fact, I thought they'd gone out of business, but yet here's one. That's right, RadioShack. How awesome is that? So back in the day, there were no Circuit Cities or Best Buys or even Amazon. If you wanted to buy electronics or even some cool remote control cars or robots or things like that, or even anything for electrical, RadioShack was the place to be. So this is probably one of the last RadioShacks. I don't know. Let's go ahead and ask and see if we can find out some information about this RadioShack. Hi, this is Jam, and today I'm here with DeLynn Murry.
Yes.
Hey, thanks, DeLynn, for letting us come and visit your RadioShack. This is Vern's RadioShack in Pocatello, Idaho. So we're going to let her tell us about her store because I thought RadioShacks went out of business, but we'll ask her some questions and she can kind of explain to us what happened to them.
We are a franchise. We've been actually a RadioShack franchise for almost 30 years. We have a store in Pocatello in Idaho Falls. The corporate side went out. They had some poor business practices, and so they all closed, but the franchise stayed open. And there's about 500 franchises around the United States.
Well, that's exciting. I can remember when I was a little kid, RadioShack was the place to be. I loved going in on every mall you went into, there was a RadioShack, and I would walk around, look at the toys, and look at all the goodies, radio stuff. There weren't things like Circuit City or Best Buy, even Amazon.com didn't exist. So RadioShack was kind of the place to be for electronics.
Yep, you can find everything from parts to pieces. We still do all the fuses and the batteries and diodes, resistors. We do all that. We go into ham scanners, and we still do toys and lots of fast cars.
That's exciting. And of course, this is Vern's RadioShack. So tell us about Vern. Who's Vern?
Vern, he is a fantastic, what would you call him, entrepreneur. In fact, he's pulling in here in just 2 seconds. But anyway, he has great customer service. He loves people, and he's willing to help try to figure out any of your problems.
Well, listen, thanks for sharing that with us. I'm going to walk around and look at some of these products and talk about them if that's okay.
Yeah, that'd be great. Walking in.
Well, we'll say hi to Vern too. You think he'll want to say hi?
Sure.
So this is Vern Murry, and he's the owner of this RadioShack, and that was his wife, DeLynn, that we just talked to. Hey, so Vern, can you kind of give us a tour of your store real quick and show us all the goodies you got here?
Sure. More stuff than in the 70s and 80s. More of the traditional pieces, parts, fuses, resistors. We took the store back to the way it was a long time ago.
Wow.
What took RadioShack down was cellular, and we're not hustling cell phones. We're doing what RadioShack started at. Still lots of communication, CVs. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's what I always loved about it, was any accessory that you ever needed to build any component or anything. I even see you have some computer stuff over here so you can build a computer. You just had every accessory you would ever need was at RadioShack.
Every cell phone charger, you name it, we got it. Bluetooth speaker, headphones, all the fun stuff.
And toys. My favorite was always the toys. You always had cool toys.
Still have all the RC cars,
right.
Two-way radios, and batteries for anything.
This is where you would bring your parents back in the 80s if you wanted to tell them what you wanted for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
So as you can see, they have all sorts of little robots and gyro kits and remote cars and things. So this is one of the things that I really liked about RadioShack back in the 80s was all the little remote control cars and things that they had. And of course, they have speakers and antennas and all sorts of fun stuff. So just remote controls. There's some DVD players for your car, portable DVD players, and a whole section of remotes. So one thing I really liked with these video games, and this little Pac-Man player here for $40.99, that little portable Pac-Man. Once again, I'm an 80s guy, so I'm retro, but that little game looks like fun. I would love to get that. And of course, they always have headphones. So matter of fact, I bought a couple of MP3 players and back in the day cassette players and all sorts of headphones and fun things that we used to have. Back in the day, I had a cassette player and a Discman. So when you're talking about accessories, they have audio accessories for everything. So just a whole section of cables and anything you need for audio. And they have a whole nother side over here, just every type of adapter that you can imagine. I really like their selection of speakers and radios. They've got like really cool radios, all sorts of weather radios, regular radios, any type of radio you need. Here's a Midland weather radio. Those are really nice to have. Emergency radios. There's a portable one up there. Wow, and we were just talking about Discman. Look at that. There's some old school Discman. I didn't even know you could still get them, but they've got them. Portable AM FM radio. Those used to be the thing to have when you were a kid. A little portable radio was awesome. Back in the 70s, we didn't have MP3 players or phones, so having a portable radio was the thing to have. One of those just like that. And they still have them. They have some little music boxes. Look at that. It's an old school one, a Jensen. Some speakers. There's some more headphones. Skull Candy. That's a good brand. There's some boom boxes and an amplifier. There's all sorts of things. Everything you could want to listen to. I thought this was interesting. It's a pillow mate. It's a portable, it's a speaker, so you can listen to your music under your pillow. And if you're with your wife in bed, your wife can't hear it, but you can hear it. So I thought that was really cool. It's called a pillow mate. So another interesting thing was this lacrosse color weather station. That thing is cool. So I have a lacrosse alarm clock, and it tells me the humidity and the temperature in my room, and I really appreciate that. But this one, it's got weather sensors for outside. Now that is really cool. I would love to have one of those. That one's $79.95.
Do those then. That's right in the price range. The brand name works good.
So this is a portable police scanner for emergencies and things. $5.99. That is really sweet. You can listen to any emergencies, and it's got all the different channels for listening to highway patrol or even the police department or ambulance services. So that's a pretty neat toy to have. There's something you don't see every day: an MP3 CD cassette adapter. But there's still some cars out there that have cassettes. Then they have all sorts of little doodads for transmitters, for Bluetooth transmitters for your radios, and just about every type of device you could want. And here's some more adapters, USB plugs. So anything for your old school electronics or your new school electronics. They have a whole section of wiring and things, soldering equipment and wires and antennas for anything that you would want to build, or CB radios. Whole section of CB radios and portable CB radios, which are really cool. There's a nice Cobra portable CD radio for $149.95. And of course more adapters, and they have a whole bunch of cabinets here with all sorts of resistors and connectors and whatever you would need. And then of course wiring and for speakers or whatever you would use all these things for. And they have a whole section of computer stuff too. So if you want to build your own computer, they've got all the hardware you would need to build a computer here. Fans and they even have, I noticed right over here, they had a DVD CD rewritable drive. So you don't see those too often anymore, but they've got drives and DVD RW drives and keyboards and all sorts of fun stuff for building your own home computer. They have a whole selection of cordless phones. Don't see those too often either, now that everybody has cell phones. So for all those podcasters out there, they have all sorts of podcasting equipment. Just about everything you need, microphones or every type of microphone you can imagine, adapters, and then they even have lighting for podcasts. And of course, my favorite, some more remote control cars and some toys, electronic toys. So I hope you enjoyed this retro look back at Radio Shack. I'd like to thank Vern and DeLynn Murry for allowing me the courtesy of visiting them. I hope to see those guys real soon. They're in the Vern's Radio Shack in Pocatello. I really enjoyed looking at that store. So I want to tell you guys, I appreciate everyone. Please like and subscribe to our channels or to our Spotify podcast. And hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Please send me comments and feedback. And once again, thanks for joining us today on Jams Adventures. See you next time.